Hallo, assalamu alaikum. Good morning. Khushamdeed ji ayanu. Goedemorgen. Ishpata.
Bagheer Agale, Ni Hao, Chune Shumme, Washmale, Ohio, Gazaimes, Guten Morgen, Hola, Bonjour, Privyet, Kaifa Hal, Hale Shabachatore, Ahlan Wasalan, Marhaba, Buna, Mucho, Gracias, Swabia, Balli Kereaya, and thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning into PTV World. You're definitely watching World this morning on a fantastic sunny morning over here in Islamabad alongside the very fantastic, scintillating, the most hardworking woman I've ever come across, Miss Shiza Hashmi, and I happen to be Shahzad Hassan Khan, and we hope and pray that everybody out there is ready to kickstart their day with us. Hello Shiza, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much. Doing even better after the compliments.
Oh, wow.
So, well, thank you for that. I really want to reciprocate it. You are absolutely such a brilliant, inspirational man to work with.
Thank
so,
you.
let's
Wow.
begin with
Well,
that.
That was a great compliment early in the morning.
Thank you
And
so
just to
much.
kind of get started with the show, ladies and gentlemen, just yesterday I was actually reading an article where the article was all about how there are these 9 habits within the people who actually happen to be billionaires in these times as well. And while I was going through it, I kind of did remember a few of them. So first of all, obviously, they need to be empathetic.
Oh, okay.
All right. Then obviously, number 2, they really need to have gratitude in their heart. They need to have wisdom. They need to have a heart where they give back to the society. And there were 3, 4 more as well. But I think when you stick to them, and if you have faith inside your heart, ladies and gentlemen, you'll always be attracting all of that positive energy in this world. Please make sure to do so, because God forbid, if you're going to start to attract all the negative energy, you won't really be happy in life.
Absolutely. Who wants negativity anyway? The only negativity we want is the negative test for coronavirus lately.
Oh, yeah.
That is all.
That's true.
So, hoping and praying that all of you are doing absolutely well and healthy too.
Yeah.
Well, health is really important. We need to talk about that. But, Shahzad, on this weekend,
Yeah.
very quickly, I'm going to do a recap for you guys. So, I spent a lot of time with my family, my siblings, whatnot, and it was all fun, super amazing. But during that, I was continuously sort of learning about and educating myself about the metaverse and NFTs, because I'm weak at it, to be honest. It's not my field and I didn't have enough knowledge. So I spent my time doing that. And towards the end of Sunday, everyone came to me asking, did you see the match for Karachi Kings?
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I didn't, because I was sort of reading something else. So why don't you let me know how it went?
All right, so I will give you an update, ladies and gentlemen. But as far as NFTs are concerned, I
Yeah.
think that it's going to be a big thing in the future. Please make sure if you want to invest, this is the right time to invest in it as well. And talking about metaverse, you really need to kind of buy your own house, your own car, and make sure
Everything.
that you already have it sorted as well. But coming down to Pakistan Super League, ladies and gentlemen, today it's going to be the last match before the playoffs.
Oh,
The
wow.
playoffs are going to start from the 23rd as well. But just yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, it was double header, and the first match was in between Quetta Gladiators and, yeah, go ahead,
Karachi Kings, yes.
So, ladies and gentlemen, the best part is the Gladiators won by 23 runs by Jason Roy, put in another smashing 82, but Smeed not doing very well, 10 of 11 deliveries. James Wins coming down into the middle order and giving in or chipping in another 29 of 24 balls. We're talking about Karachi Kings. It was only Clark or Babar Azam who did kind of chip in a lot of score, where Clark gave in 52 and Babar Azam contributed 36 runs. But unfortunately, for Imad, Mir Hamza and Usman Sharwani and Gregory, they were only able to get 1 wicket each. And when we come down to Naseem Shah, obviously from Quetta Gladiators, he was able to get 2. And the player of the match, Mr. Khurram Shahzad, was able to get 4 wickets. Wow. I think that was fantastic. Now coming down towards the second match, ladies and gentlemen, where it was Islamabad United versus Multan Sultans, where Islamabad United made 105 for 7 and Sultan won by 6 wickets, 111 for the loss of 4 wickets as well. And I think it was wonderful. Multan Sultan has been invincible so far. They,
Of course, and why not?
I mean, the kind of talent they have exhibited as a team is something phenomenal, because the other day they made 245, which was the second highest score ever in
Wow.
PSL history. And that's something which everybody needs to kind of look into, because Multan Sultans is the only team who's been leading from the front as well, and ever since the PSL started, they have been topping the points table as well. The player of the match was Mr. Imran Tahir, who actually took away 2 wickets and only gave away 8 runs. Wow, that's fantastic.
So, now we're heading into the quarterfinals.
Yes, we will head
Why
into
is it so funny?
quarterfinals, but for that we'll have to come down to the playoffs in the first place. So taking a good look at the points table, Multan Sultan topping the chart with 18 points, Lahore Qalandars with 12, Peshawar Zalmi on number 3 with 10 points, Islamabad United on number 4 with 8 points. Quetta Gladiators had an opportunity, but since their net run rate is too low from Islamabad, so they couldn't make it to the playoffs as well. But we'll still have to see whether it's going to be Peshawar Zalmi moving ahead in the table, which looks difficult. But if they win today's match, they can probably be in competition with the team on the second number on the points table.
All right, fingers crossed. Let's see how that turns out.
Yep.
Okay, so moving on, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Shahzad, again for updating me, because I think so far you guys might have learned I'm not into cricket, but I do love staying updated as well.
But you know what,
so
that's something
he is my source.
That's something which I was wondering, you know, so if we are to kind of give away information on PSL every single day, why were you researching about NFTs?
Oh,
why did you kind of take out time and made sure that, okay, you're going to watch one match?
I literally spent straight, I know I should have done that.
I'm sorry for pulling your leg early in the morning, but it's all
You know,
right.
I'm waiting for the quarterfinals and then semi and the finals, because Multan Sultans, I know, is going to make it to the finals. I'm there to watch it, definitely.
I mean, they make it to the finals is different. If they're going to win the final, it's something very different.
Okay? I'm going to enjoy anyways still.
All right. Okay,
but
that's
yes,
wonderful.
moving on, ladies and gentlemen. You know, Shahzad, in the beginning, I said health. I mean, it's all about health, right? If you're talking about being a student or being an employee at an office space, being your own boss for that matter, a mother, a father, someone who does nothing even at home, maybe a house help, whatnot. Whatever profession or career you're going through, whatever life choices you're making, they're only realizable and they're only possible if you're in a good health. Do you agree with me?
True.
Definitely.
I do agree with you, and I want to kind of add on over here as well, because just a few months ago, my youngest daughter was actually in the hospital, and you know, so we had to stay in the hospital for 5 or 6 days. And when we got out of the hospital, ladies and gentlemen, there was an extensive list of bills as well, which I really had to fulfill, obviously, because otherwise the hospitals would refuse to give me that treatment. And when we talk about Riyasat-e-Medina, I think that this is that one step which everybody needs to talk about, because worldwide, globally, ladies and gentlemen, such a program of healthcare has not been introduced, and that too by the government. So we really need to kind of appreciate and ask all of those questions which you might have in your mind, because when we talk about Sehat Sahulat Card, ladies and gentlemen, it's one of those landmarks, hallmarks, which the Pakistani government has achieved. Maybe I think that the credit truly does go to, because we do believe in that wherever credit's due, it's due. It does truly go to PTI government as well. And it's because of the fact that so many people will be able to make sure that they are going to have a healthy life, because that's one problem within our marginalized societies as well.
Absolutely, Shahzad, I totally agree with you. And I feel like we feel this on such a deeper level as well, because a welfare society, while the name does sound fancy, it really should definitely encapsulate all segments of the society, not just on religious basis, but on humanitarian basis as well. My heart goes out to all the people who belong to probably the downtrodden segments of the society, but are equally going through health issues, but no access to health care. Now it's going to change. It has already changed for the people in Punjab, in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, now in Islamabad, Rawalpindi as well. Eventually, we're hoping in the entire country. But we have so many questions regarding this, and we got all your questions as well, so we're going to throw it to a very appropriate person present over here in the studio.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is that we are going to give you the information which any layman would have, and then we will obviously ask the expert as well. So, you know, from as much PSL we have watched, obviously they have been talking about the Sehat Sahulat Card as well, and it gives you the leverage to kind of go to any private or you know, government hospital as well, where you will be treated for up to at least 1 million rupees, Pakistani rupees as well. And God forbid if there's any surgery which needs to be done, God forbid if there's any fractures, God forbid if there's any diabetic illness, if there's any cardiac illness, you know, there's different levels of that as well. So initially I think it starts from 60,000 rupees, where there's this preliminary level, and then God forbid if the disease has advanced, you certainly can go to any other hospital, may it be private, may it be government hospital. So please, ladies and gentlemen, it's about time that Pakistan actually becomes healthy. And it's very important because of the fact that we're a country with 60% or more population of youngsters, where we really need to be healthy to make sure that the country is going to prosper in years to come. So a great tribute to all of those people who have been a party, who have been the people behind this very entire concept of how to make the nations healthy as well. And it's a good step. And let's talk about it. And to kind of talk about it, we're very lucky that we've actually been joined by somebody who happens to be the Chief Executive Officer for the Federal Sehat Sahulat Program, and he happens to be Mr. Muhammad Arshad Qaim Khani Sahab. Hello, sir. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you very much for inviting me here, Shahzad and Shiza.
It's our pleasure.
I'm not so multilingual as you guys are.
Well, it's perfectly all right, sir. What you're supposed to do, you're doing that.
Yeah.
You happen to be the Chief Executive Officer for the Federal Sehat Sahulat Card as well, which is why, sir, first things first. I want you to share all sorts of information and all levels of information to the people, our audiences, so that anybody and everybody can take benefit from it. Because the best part, just before I got to know that we will be interviewing you, I actually kind of tried registering myself, and I'm registered now. And since I've only got 2 daughters of mine registered on the Bay form as well, so it says you, your spouse, and your 2 children are actually eligible for the treatment. So it
nice.
works. It works. But for how many people it's going to work, and how is it going to work?
Thank you, Shahzad. Qawmi Sehat Card, as we call it, as a brand name, and
Yes.
the organization name is a Sehat Sahulat Program.
Okay.
So, Qawmi Sehat Card, let me get you to a little background story.
Sir.
You know, whatever the international poverty surveys or local poverty surveys within Pakistan were taking place,
Yeah.
they identify only one thing.
Sir.
Whenever any family or any individual falls below the poverty line, the number one reason for the falling below the poverty line is catastrophic healthcare expenditure.
True.
And for the catastrophic healthcare expenditure means the hospitalization related expense. God forbid you, me, or any of our beloveds fall sick tomorrow morning at 2 p.m. and we need some lakhs of rupees for a cardiac intervention, for neurological issue, some cancer management issue. From where we get? How many people have cash in the kitty?
True.
We are the nation, we are the society where 99% of the people earn less than 100,000 rupees a month. And you know the situation, the economic situation, and how the families are managing their situations. So what they do? Income curve always vary in all societies of the world.
Right, of course.
People adjust their lifestyles as per their income situation. Maybe bigger house, middle house, small house, big cars, medium car, bike. That's fantastic. But if somebody close to your heart, your family member is dying in front of you, you would like to put every single damn thing on a stack just to save the life. Whether it's your home, whether it's your vehicle, whether it's your cattle, whether it's your jewelry, every single thing. But still there are 50% chance, Shahzad, that your beloved will come back from hospital to home again. But in either case, whether he or he may not, this family will definitely fall below the poverty line for the next 4 generations. The government of Pakistan has started this Qawmi Sehat Card just to stop this phenomenon. Initially, 5-6 years ago, it was started from the KP and the federal areas, and it was started for the lowest and the below poverty segments of the society, which counts almost say 30 to 40% of the overall population.
33,
But
yes.
gradually, this program was graduated, and under the vision of the Prime Minister of Pakistan, they said now it's time to universalize it. So we given universal coverage starting 2-3 years ago from Tharparkar district of Sindh.
Wow.
You know,
Okay.
when Prime Minister went there and he was announcing the program for the below poverty, then when we saw the landscape of the poverty there, he was just
Flabbergasted.
very, what should I say, touchy
Devastated.
with the situation. And he said, why we cannot start a universal coverage for the 100% population of the Tharparkar district. This was the first experiment as far as the government of Pakistan is
So
concerned.
universal coverage means what? Please also explain.
100% population.
All
It
right.
means from the chief minister or the prime minister to every single person.
Okay.
The same level of coverage and same Qawmi Sehat Card for everybody.
Brilliant.
So starting with the Tharparkar, then we went to the universal coverage for all the 6 districts and 7 agencies of the FATA.
Wow.
We got newly merged districts of the KP now. Then KP, then whole of the Azad Jammu and Kashmir, then Gilgit Baltistan. Yesterday I came back from the Skardu. We launched universal coverage for their Gilgit Baltistan population as well. And in Punjab, we are already rolling down this program. Out of 9 divisions, 6 we already rolled down. The Multan, the Gujranwala division, and Sargodha will be the last division will be rolled down on the 31st of March. Well, practically on 31st March 2022, whole of the Pakistan minus Balochistan and Sindh minus Tharparkar.
Right.
Whole of the Pakistan, which means almost 180 million people will be covered under the Qawmi Sehat Card. And just to add last sentence, the Balochistan government has already agreed to join this program in next 3 months, and we hope the same from the Sindh government. They are going to join maybe later in the year.
And this was actually going to be my next question. When can we get Balochistan
And he
and
answered
Sindh?
it already.
Yeah,
He
you
knew
did
it
already.
was coming.
Brilliant, brilliant. We're really hoping that everyone in all parts of Pakistan gets on board with this as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, sir. About 593 hospitals in Punjab so far have been engaged in this. I want you to sort of explain the magnitude of this. So if I'm registered with the SSP program or with the
Qawmi
SSP
Safe
itself,
Card.
yes, Does that mean I can go to any hospital? Is it supposed to be a public one? Can I also go to private ones? What does it entail?
Basically,
And what primary and tertiary or secondary services, for that matter, does it offer
All
me?
tiers of healthcare.
Okay. Let me make my answer more easy and more simplified. For the common man, you have a mashallah great viewership. Shadar was telling me we are one of the top 3 shows viewed on the online. So just a very simple. Wherever the health insurance program or national health insurance programs works, they have a set panel of the hospitals.
Okay.
So in Pakistan as well, when we started the program, so the public sector hospital system, which is working for last 75 years in Pakistan, was not able to deliver the care and the customer servicing attitude which was required for a common man. This is why we were forced to include the private sector hospital. So we just not end up by giving a car to a common man, but we need to give the real care to the patient. So at the beginning, 85% of our panel hospitals were the private sector. Gradually, the composition is being changed. Now almost 70-30. 70 are the private hospitals and 30 are the public sector hospitals.
Brilliant, brilliant.
950 plus hospitals at the moment when we are talking across the Pakistan, right from Karachi to Gwadar. And you have no compulsion. Wherever you are, whether you are traveling, whether you are living in another city, you can go to any panel hospital of your choice.
Okay.
No bar. No permission, no documentation. You just need to put your Shanakhti card, Qaumi Shanakhti card, like Qaumi Sehat card. Now we have converted your Qaumi Shanakhti card into Qaumi Sehat card. You don't need a separate health card. I know.
So we already have it. That means that we already have it.
You already have it.
So what we need to
we just with a one move of the magic, you converted all the CNICs in your pockets into the Qaumi Sehat card.
Wow.
So now we can feel proud. We are the first nation on the face of the earth which of this kind or this size of almost 234 million with a 100% state-funded national health insurance program.
Wow, it's wonderful. And you know, sir, even while I'm kind of in conversation with you and I'm listening to all of what you actually have to share, I still believe that it's I mean, it's unbelievable to be very honest that, you know, that alhamdulillah now Pakistan is capable of looking after the entire nation and that we are not kind of making sure that there's going to be any discrimination amongst the regions or the provinces as well, and that the provincial governments, it's up to the provincial governments now to kind of join this plan and however we're going forward with it. But sir, now I think it's about time that we really need to kind of know how it's going to benefit any individual. Now, for example, if I have my ID card, I go to any hospital and unfortunately my family is ill or I am ill. So how is the procedure going to work? So at the reception, I give them my ID card and then they will give me, okay, you know, this is, all of it is sorted. You just go, get yourself checked up and leave the hospital. Is that how it's going to work? Is it that simple? Is it that easy? Because, you know, I'm still in that, okay, yaar, ye waqi ho gaya Pakistan, you know, something like that.
Shadad, this happens wherever I go in any international forum. They always ask me, even at the senior most level in the Pakistan as well, they ask, Arshad, it seems too good to believe. I say it is. But not the starting of the story. We started 6 years ago. We have already covered 120 million people right on 31st December. Now it's taking it to the next level. It's almost 180 and I think by year and maybe 234 million, whole of the 100% population. Now coming to your question. You know, when we started for the below poverty segment, you know, for a below poverty segment person, it's very difficult. He has such a shyness and so hesitant to even to put a step in a posh shop, whether it's a fashion shop or it's a grocery shop or it's a posh hospital.
True.
So we were forced to introduce a Sehat card counter in any hospital, not only for the identification of the patient, whether he belongs to the program beneficiary or not, but for the hand holding, for the documentation, for etc. etc. Now all 950 hospitals, everybody had a Sehat card counter. You just put your Shanakhti card, get that and get diagnosed your issue, whatever the problem.
And that's wonderful, and which is why, you know, we're still saying that, you know, it's too good to believe as well. And imagine while we were having this conversation, Shiza actually texted her ID card number, and the helpline is 8500, I guess. Yes, it's 8500, ladies and gentlemen. All you have to do is you text your ID card number, and they will respond you whether you are covered under that service or not.
It's
so what about you?
easy.
What did you get?
So I just sent my CNIC to 8500 and it says, मोअज़्ज़िज़ दरख्वास्त गुजार आप कौमी सेहत कार्ड के लिए अहल नहीं हैं
जी, because and there's a reason and I need to say that, and it is because of the fact that her permanent address is of Norway.
Amsterdam.
Amsterdam, okay, so even if it's for Amsterdam, so ladies
But
and gentlemen,
yes, if you're a
you really
Pakistan-
need to be a Pakistani from heart, because my permanent address is from Rawalpindi. As soon as I texted, they were like, hey, you know what? You're sorted. All you need to do is come to the hospital and we'll look after you.
And
it's
that's
great.
my bad, but it's so easy, right, for everyone out there, definitely.
But even in Amsterdam, you're covered, yeah, so don't worry,
Of
okay?
course.
But now, sir, what I need to ask is that, for example, people over here have this habit of kind of feeling sick almost every now and then. Even if they are not ill, just to kind of check whether this Qawmi Sehat card is working or not, they will be going to hospitals. So how do you think that the hospital is going to draw that transparency out that, okay, that whoever is coming in, that they seriously have an issue, or they just want to be here because they wanted to test their Qawmi National Guard, or any other reason?
I know this nation always believe in testing, especially.
We want to see if there's something wrong.
Especially on the lighter side, Sheza. Our KP friends always believe in testing, right? They give one chance for testing. Coming to the business. Yes, it is. People visit the hospitals, and one thing I need to mention more for your viewers, that this Qawmi Sehat card is covering only hospitalization expenses, not the OPD expenses. Like in ordinary nazla, zukam, khansi, you go to your roadside OPD clinician, get the treatment, 200, 400, 500 ml, and you go back to your home. Because that's not catastrophic, neither for your physical health and nor for your financial health. So this Qawmi Sehat card is covering the hospitalization, the catastrophic healthcare expenditure for you 100%. Number one, yes, people come. People visit the hospital, then the attending physician has to decide whether, for example, if Sheza is there, whether she really need an hospitalization intervention or not. If yes, she will be admitted. If not, she will be advised to refer to an OPD clinician. It's as simple as this.
All right, so what sir over here is trying to explain is that, God forbid, if it's flu, if there's anything which is not really very, it's not going to cause you any harm in the longer run as well. So you really need to go to the doctor, get yourself checked for the OPD, and you have to pay for that. But God forbid, if there's any hospital intervention required, then that's the time when you really need to take your card out, because it feels like as if my ID card all of a sudden turned into a platinum card, sir. And I think everybody is very happy about it. But now, sir, I need to ask you a couple of questions where we really want to answer all the queries of the people. So imagine that we are actually allowed to spend almost 1 million rupees, up to 1 million rupees in terms of hospital intervention. Is that true?
Yeah, but let me clarify very honestly. When we started giving this card, physical card initially, so we received many cards back from the various banks, because the people just putting in the ATM and trying to withdraw the 1 million. Or I was receiving, or my team was receiving the calls. Sir, this साल इस साल तो बिल्कुल मैं बीमार नहीं हुई ना, मैं उम्र ते जा सकनी है. I said, oh, please stop it. Just for the clarification for the.
Okay, and so let me take a minute over here. So, ladies and gentlemen, what sir was over here trying to say is that people think that they can withdraw money. So let me do it in Urdu so that we reach out to maximum audiences. तो वो सब लोग जो कौमी सेहत कार्ड जिनके पास आ चुका है, उनको कभी कभार ये भी लगता है कि वो एटीएम में जाएंगे तो एटीएम से पैसे भी निकाल सकते हैं. ऐसा नहीं होगा. आपको सिर्फ दवाई या आपका इलाज होगा उस कार्ड के ऊपर, और वो भी पैसे नहीं मिलेंगे किसी को. वो आपका इलाज फ्री में हो जाएगा, जो हुकूमत की तरफ से किया जाएगा. बल्कि लोग यहाँ तक भी पूछ रहे हैं कि सर मैं इस कार्ड पे उम्रे पे जा सकती हूँ. तो प्लीज़ आपके इर्द के जितने भी लोग हैं, आप लोगों का फ़र्ज़ बनता है कि आप लोग उनको आगाही दें. अच्छा सर, इसमें one more question which I wanted to ask. So you haven't answered if we are going to be covered up to 1 million rupees.
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
Just one thing more. It's not 1 million.
Yeah.
It's just the face value of the card.
Okay.
If you ask me, Arshad, what is the purchasing power of this card? It's around worth 3 million rupees.
3 million.
Just to give you a very easy explanation for this is, for an ordinary bypass, if you and me go to a private hospital, they will charge us 1.2 million on average.
Okay.
But in this card, God forbid, if a family needs 3 bypass, they can be covered, because we have specialized negotiated rates with the hospital, being the largest purchaser of the services in Pakistan.
And that's what I wanted to ask her in particular, and that is that, so God forbid, if somebody was so ill that they had to go to the hospital and there were certain or several other surgeries which were required. So are we only eligible for that 1 million rupees or 3 million rupees, what you were saying, in a year's time? Or do you think that, if whatever service is required, the hospitals will be providing that, it may go up to 5 million, 6 million, 7 million. You know how hospitals are these days, they're very expensive. So the Qawmi Sehat card will provide us all of that facility as well, or we have to still chip in to kind of make it all balance of payments as well?
Shadar, we have the financial limits, as I mentioned, but with the larger purchasing power, of course.
Okay.
As far as our experience for last 6-7 years, 99.9% people are very much covered and taken care of within this limit.
Right.
However, still there are 1% people who may get exceeded treatment. डेफिनेटली आपने सुना होगा वो एतजाद हसन साहब एक बड़ा मशहूर नज़म गाया करते थे, रियासत होगी माँ के जैसी. तो हम जो है वो वी डोंट किक आउट द पेशेंट आउट ऑफ द हॉस्पिटल इफ द ट्रीटमेंट इज कंटिन्यू टिल इट गेट प्रॉपर्ली कंप्लीटेड.
Okay, and that's wonderful. And now, sir, in addition to that, when we talk about 1 million rupees, for example, if Alhamdulillah, I was very healthier all throughout the year. So, do you think that that previous year, which I didn't really spend 1 million rupees, will be credited to my next year medical history as well? Is that going to happen?
शायद आप भी एटीएम वाली बात करने लगे, हम लगता है मुझे.
Sir, the reason
out there,
is, sir,
we
the
need to
reason is that
clarify.
people are asking these questions out there. So I wanted it to be out there as well.
It's literally on
You can
Twitter.
see Shada is smiling on your question. Of course, that's not the case. You cannot make a check and balance where you can accumulate for the future years. But don't worry, for the future year, government of Pakistan is there and they will take care of you. Don't need to worry.
And that's
You know
and,
what?
and
Yeah.
that's what we want. That's how we want it to be, sir. Because for me, as hard it is for me to believe, to be very honest, I think that this is one of those things which I want to be so sustainably backed up that it continues. If God forbid PTI government stays over here or they do not, I think that the project needs to stay over here for the well-being of the nation's people as well. I think that's what I'm requesting.
Very true. The Qawmi Sehat Card program or the Sehat Sahoolat program has already transited 2 governments.
Yes.
It was in the previous government, now it's in the second government. And it will go 3rd government and 4th government till unforeseen future, inshallah. We being a professional government officers, we are trying every single effort to institutionalize the program. The next month we are planning to bring in an Act of Parliament where we can make a regular set up National Health Insurance and Finance Commission, which will take this program on institutionalized basis for the unforeseen future. Wow. So that's no need to worry. But I just want to make one comment.
Yeah.
While Shiza was trying to get the confirmation from the Amsterdam permanent
Oh my
address from the Nadra. So I was also keeping my fingers crossed whether what Nadra is going to answer, whether Nadra will recognize her. She's from Amsterdam or Chichunki Malia. But there's, I think Nadra system is smart enough. Through you, I would like to request all the citizens of Pakistan, please get registered yourself at Nadra. Especially on 2 accounts, I'm really concerned. One is about the little kids, new babies. Because we, as a nation, we have a culture. We don't do the things till it really needed.
Exactly.
So people they keep waiting till the kid is going to go to school.
Yeah.
And then we need a bay form, and then we need to force to go to Nadra. But Bimari will never come after giving you warning. They can knock on your door anytime. So I would request with you, immediately after the birth, please register your baby. So whenever you need a treatment, we always check the Nadra record. If your kid is registered there, he or she will get the treatment. Otherwise, it will be difficult for us. Number one.
Yeah.
Number 2, for the new couples. In new couples, what happens? People go make a wonderful fancy wedding, and then they go for the honeymoon, etc., etc. But they forget to register their marriage in the Nadra. So when after a year or so, the bride needs a maternity service, and they approach to a hospital and they check the Nadra record, still the lady or the girl is coming under the father's record and as an unmarried girl. So for such a kind of status, we cannot extend maternity services by law. So we request all the happy couples and new couples, please, before going to honeymoon, try to register yourself at the Nadra. And even if you reach to the honeymoon while I'm talking this with you, there are Nadra centers are available at your honeymoon destinations as well.
Wow.
Just spend 10 minutes, get registered, so in future you don't have a problem.
And
And
I like
everything
it,
is
sir,
now
how with a
online.
big smile you actually said happy couples. And then contradicted with your smile. All the happy couples, all the couples as well. I think it was wonderful, sir. Thank you very much for being with us. It was lovely to be in conversation with you. And as much information we could or we were able to pull out, we did. And the credit goes to you, sir. The credit goes to our Premier, Mr. Imran Khan Sahab as well. And the kind of initiatives he has taken to make Pakistan a Riyasat al-Medina as well. I think that everybody kind of wants this government to kind of stay over here and continue to serve the nation and probably move towards excellence every single day as well. And it's people like you, sir, who make it possible for all of us.
Definitely.
And बहुत सारी दुआएं.
Thank you very much. It's a teamwork. We are one team, right from the Prime Minister of Pakistan to me and you and my team members. Let's work together and feel our nation a real nation.
And
Thank
we
you
feel
so much,
honored, sir, as well. Thank you very much for being with us. So very quickly, sir, all we need to do is we need to send our ID card number at 8500 And that's it, we are registered.
Just for the sake of confirmation. Otherwise, even you don't require this as well. You can go to Shinakti card and go to the hospital.
Any hospital.
Any panel hospital. And for the panel hospital details, you can contact our helpline 08 000 9009 or statehealth.com.pk.
Wow, that's
Wow, and
wonderful.
this was-
Statehealth.com.pk, ladies and gentlemen, or 08
000
000
9009.
9009 08 000 9009, or just send your ID card number to 8500. Take your ID card and make sure it's not expired. Yes, that's important. Please make
the
sure.
important part.
Yeah.
But ladies and gentlemen, I think we sitting here do not realize the immense impact it's going to have on the lives of people that are actually in need. Of course, Shazad, we do, I mean, on the website, it does put a cap or a limit to, XYZ thousand or XYZ million per family per year, but it's not, I mean, it's not written in stone for that matter. Definitely the state or the government is going to be there if you need. You just need to be legally registered with the NADRA, of course, definitely. And I feel like it's a milestone in Pakistan's history. Should have happened many years ago, to be honest, but I mean, we're still thankful it's happening.
I think that's what we're going to say as well. And ladies
for all
and
of you,
gentlemen,
yeah.
it's just the face value, which is up to 1 million, but they will get you covered up to 3 million Pakistani rupees
It's
as well.
just amazing.
Wow. I just cannot believe it. But please make sure, do not put that card into your ATMs. Yes, never do that. All right, and with that, we're actually going to head out towards a short break.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Muhammad Arshad Kaim Khani Sahab, for
Thank
being
you,
with
sir.
us. Lovely to be in conversation with such a young, amazing, vibrant human being who's looking after the entire nation. You truly are a very responsible human being, sir. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you so much.
Dil se salam kar raha hu. Aa jaओ.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank
And
you,
for
sir.
everybody who's out there, ladies and gentlemen, with that, we're actually heading out.
Towards a short break, we'll be right back and with something really interesting to talk about. So
Yeah,
stay tuned to find
mother
out.
language, yeah.
Yeah. Good morning.
You are watching PTV World.
Book is life. Book is hope. And book is light for the future.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Thank you very much for staying tuned to PTV World. You're definitely watching World this morning. Thanks to the fantastic, amazing, stunning Shazad Khan and the very amazing Shiza Hashmi as well. Before heading out towards a short break, we actually were in conversation with the Chief Executive Officer of the Sehat Sahulat Program, or the Qawmi Sehat Card as well, which, ladies and gentlemen, is for each and every one of you. It's just that you really need to have a permanent address of this country rather than Amsterdam. Yes. Well, moving on, ladies and gentlemen, we certainly wanted to talk about how mother language is very important for each and every one of us, and how it represents the culture of the nation.
Yeah.
Because when we talk about countries, that's how we kind of get to know that the kind of culture or probably the kind of identity they will have. Not just that, in addition to that, what I wanted to talk about, since it happens to be the International Mother Language Day as well, I certainly wanted to kind of talk about how countries have invested in making sure that their identity will be recognized as, or probably in relation to their languages as well. But when we talk about China, for example, or British Council, or all of these agencies who have been working for the promotion of their languages, I think that as a country, Pakistan really need to do so. Because when we talk about Pakistan within the South Asian region, we have more than 72 languages. And God forbid, if you're not going to invest in it, how do you think that we will actually have enough literature onto the shelf as well, where we will actually be, or we will be able to let our future generations at least know that, hey, you know what, that's the kind of languages we used to speak.
Absolutely. I think that was a brilliant introduction, Shazad. Language is definitely the identity, not just of a region, but of an entire generation. And imagine 100 years from now, people who are going to come, I mean, they will definitely want to wonder what their ancestors spoke. It is definitely, I mean, it's something so beautiful. It encapsulates the entire era in just few words. It's really interesting for me. And speaking of mother language, Shazad, it's not the 90s anymore that we need to talk about how to promote or conserve a language. I think we're in 2022. We need to talk about how to incorporate all the hundreds of thousands of languages in the tech firms today, or in the tech world today, the cyberspace today. That is what I want to talk about. So without any further ado, let's be introducing the guests.
All right, and before we kind of introduce the guests, ladies and gentlemen, the best part is that UNDP actually premiered a small documentary, and that too on the languages which are being spoken over here within our region as well. We are definitely thankful to them for kind of providing us that hand which we always needed. So we are actually going to share a trailer of that documentary, and once you guys will come back, we will be in conversation with the people who are making it a success in making sure that they're going to secure and make sure that they're going to bring forward all of those languages which we speak. Let's take a look.
Yeah, let's do it.
And obviously, we have a heart full of gratitude to all of these people who have kind of made it a success for Pakistanis as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, we are very lucky that we've actually been joined by the resident representative of UNDP Pakistan, and he happens to be Mr. Knut Osibe. Hello, assalamu alaikum. Good morning. How are you?
Alaikum salam. Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you very much
pleasure.
for joining us. Wonderful to have you. And alongside him, ladies and gentlemen, we're lucky that we've been joined by the chairperson in this cultural forum, because they partnered in making sure that this documentary is going to come to life as well. And he is Mr. Munawar Hassan. Hello, assalamu alaikum. Good morning.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very much for joining us. First of all, I have a heart full of gratitude towards you people, because you're the ones who are making sure that you're going to kind of secure all of that historical, cultural, and when we talk about the regional perspective, and that too when it comes to or translated into language, you guys are actually the flag bearers of where you are protecting it for all of us as well. So congratulations on that in the first place. But how important do you think a mother language is for anyone or any country or any nation?
Yeah, from UNDP's side, we're coming to this from the point of view of development. And development is not something you can impose from the outside. Development is not something that goes top down. The real development is created by people themselves.
Right.
And how do people do that? I once did some studies in development many years ago, and I read a book called No Development Without Culture.
Yeah.
Language is a very important part of culture. It is what makes you a person. It's what makes you a society. And it is a foundation for how a society can come together and decide to improve their lives, decide how they want to live. And I think that is the driving force for development.
All right,
Wow.
and so in addition to that, I'll move on to Mr. Munawar as well, where, sir, when we were in conversation with Mr. Knut, and that's what he said, that, it is for any nation to kind of move forward. And when we come down to languages, I think we do not have that understanding which Mr. Knut actually has of a language, and it's because of the fact that he's been working in the development sector for a longer period of time. A lot of research is backed as well. But we, unfortunately, as a nation, were not really very making sure that, okay, we are going to protect what is ours. And why do you think that we kind of dismayed and not made sure that that literature is going to be available for the future generations to learn from what our ancestors did?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think very interesting question. And when I look back to this this dimension of our mother language,
This dilemma,
in our country, I think there was time when this nation building was very important, and the new country carved out of this bigger subcontinent, and then at that time, it was like different ethnicities, different nationalities were living in this area, and when it became Pakistan as in 1947, so I think the top priority was a nation building, and different people should come together. So a language was needed to connect people and everyone everywhere. So at that time, maybe idea of bringing in Urdu as our national language was coined, but that didn't mean, because day before somebody was telling that Qaid-e-Azam's telling that Urdu will be national language didn't mean at all that we will not be having mother languages in the country.
Okay.
So I think this was little bit misinterpreted by the people later. He couldn't, Qaid-e-Azam couldn't get much time to shape the nation that he wanted to be. So maybe that was the, and I think this is the time when world is coming up with more explanation of this, and we are also understanding different dimensions, and now we have started looking into the beauty of diversity actually. There was a time when we thought we should be just building one nation, but now we feel one nation can be built when people will own it, and ownership comes when the land or the state will give importance to your identity, which is your culture, language,
cultural background, yes.
Cultural
my heritage,
background.
yes.
So I think this is like we have to now improve our understanding and think in a way that giving importance and respect to people's languages and dialects and their cultures will bring them closer to each other, and together I think they will be part of the development process of this country.
Wow, that's a wonderful
And that's
thought
the dream,
process.
definitely, and
That
that's
is the
absolutely
dream, yeah.
beautiful. But you know, more than 30% of people all around the world do not have access to their own mother language or their local language in official spaces or in education systems. How disturbing might that be? Imagine, Shahzad, if my child was living in a Punjabi small region, if I were living right there, and then they had to go to a school where they weren't teaching, or they didn't have textbooks in Punjabi or Urdu for that matter. I mean, it's definitely disturbing. But like you said, development is now on the way, and that is because the notion or the paradigm of unilateralism is being challenged. Multilingualism is actually multilateralism, or pluralism for that matter. UNDP also says so. So why don't, UNESCO as well, so why don't you let us know how can we realize that in our official and cyberspaces right now?
Yeah, you mentioned multilateralism,
Yes.
and I also wanted to mention the example of how the United Nations work. We have 193 member countries, and that is the strength. The strength is diversity among these countries. They have one vote each in the General Assembly, and when they come together and want to do something, it's extremely powerful. And we are concerned about development. We are concerned about the sustainable development goals that all countries set as goals for 2030, including Pakistan, and we are concerned with leaving no one behind.
Yeah.
And there we come to your point. We do need for each and every community to be recognized. Today there are big differences between the poorest and the richest in Pakistan, as well as in many other countries in Asia and other parts of the world. And those differences do not have to be there.
Right.
There are ways that you can bring people on board from the poor segment of the country to not only to have their fair share, but also to contribute to national development. And if you can bring everybody on board to contribute, and you have 220 million people in Pakistan, to the power of all these people working together and using opportunities to contribute to national development is immense. And as you said, the cyberspace, the electronic media will be a part of this. I do not have a formula for exactly how you can represent all languages on electronic platforms. But I do agree with you. We need to work towards that. I think cyberspace has come a long way, though.
Yeah, definitely.
When I
definitely.
started learning about computers long time ago, there was not that language diversity. There was not even the alphabet diversity. And,
Yep.
and we have that now, and a lot more can be done. Computers can use a lot of languages, so why not use that capability that computers give us?
Exactly. And sir, in addition
And
to
it's
that,
so
sir-
interesting.
Yeah.
Siri now has accents as well.
Exactly.
How interesting is
Yeah,
that?
and not just that, I think Siri actually comes in two voices as well. Either you can pick up for female or male as well. So,
Of
so
course.
whatever accent and then whatever tone of the voice as well. But so I'll make it more simpler for you, because where you said that you might not even have the exact formula as of now, but since UNDP and the partner organizations are working together to kind of pave that way towards technology, or how technology will be using, or how we will be using technology in order to kind of be multilingual and its effectiveness. So this year around, sir, the theme for the International Mother Language Day is using technology for multilingual learning as well, and that to opportunities and challenges. So what opportunities? That's something I will ask from you, and what challenges is something I'll ask you. So please, opportunities.
Well, I think some of the opportunities are demonstrated in some of the things we have already been doing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like Easy Paisa or this electronic money.
Yep.
We have one of the biggest constraints to development is for people not to get bank accounts, for people not to be able to be part of the formal economy
Banking system.
in rural and remote areas. And these systems are bringing people on board to do this. So this is perhaps a place to start. Pakistan has launched this, the Prime Minister has launched a Digital Pakistan
Yep.
initiative, and we are helping in a small way from our side also in different parts of government to make that a reality. I think the main aspect in that is to reach the people who have not yet been reached. There are people who do not, many people who don't yet have a smartphone. There are people who do not, as I said, have a bank account. There are
So these are the challenges
Yes.
most probably.
and this is not only a question of the cost of the device, it's also a question about knowledge, information, and willingness to open up to people, to share in these services. So I think that is the place to invest. It's in the outreach to make sure that the electronic services that are quite advanced in Pakistan
And are
already,
accessible to everyone.
they are known and then accessible to everyone.
Wow, wonderful. So any further challenges you want to kind of contribute towards, Mr.
Yeah,
Knut
thank you very
Oscar?
much. I think on the opportunity side, sorry,
Yes.
maybe
ahead.
adding to what Mr. Knut said. This is 20 million people's country, and if we say 60%, 65 to 70% population is adult population, then I think out of them 100 million people or more have access to smartphones or mobile phones per se, not smartphones obviously. But in that case means people are aware of technology, the increasing use of digital technology in this world. So now the issue is their outreach, number one. Number two is, I mean, how people can use it more positively for their own purposes and development processes.
Yeah.
So Mr. Knut already indicated to some schemes that government has launched and people are taking advantage of it. But I think for the learning purposes, what challenge that we have seen during this COVID period, I think when government wanted to reach out to the children or through online learning or distant learning, and that was
It did work out.
it didn't work out that successfully.
Yeah.
Actually, they tried, and I think this is the time that the entire world actually struggled. People were not teachers were not ready to teach in this modality. The students were not accustomed to it. Muting the teacher was very easy at that time. So I think so I think these were the dilemmas that we went through. But as we move forward, I think this is the way forward, that we have to couple. I think it should not be only face to face and only online, but it should be online and face to face both. So the technology has its say. Number two is the tools. Actually, technology can give us so many tools that we can use for learning of our future generations, and that is the way where mother language is important for technology in mother language.
even
to
for
teach
understanding,
you have
yeah.
to speak to each other actually. If we only focused on the tools in English or per se Urdu or the dominant languages of the like French or Spanish or other, I think we need to also focus how we can improve this learning process in our mother languages in Pakistan, which are, for example, when I read the international literature, they say 13% of people speak in Pakistan speak this language, and when they say but this is in number is huge, and they say these many million people. So the reader said, wow, this is like a substantial number.
Exactly, and it's wonderful. So thank you very much, Mr. Munawar, for being with us, and thank you very much, Mr. Knut Osby, for being with us and for taking out time and to contributing towards saving our national heritage. Thank you very much for doing so.
Thanks.
And we are highly grateful and we are highly indebted as well from the kind gesture, because the documentary is out, ladies and gentlemen. It's been translated into 22 other languages as well, for your better understanding, for our better understanding. And since this is a very global sphere these days we are living in, so everybody needs to know the language to communicate, because we're reaching out to millions and billions of people these days.
Absolutely. Ignorance in this is definitely not bliss. So educate yourself about your own languages and about others as well. I mean, why not? It is, like you said, it's a global issue now. Let's face it together. Be proud of your language, whatever it is today, especially today, of your mother language, where you live in, the language of your household as well, the language that your parents speak, your grandparents speak it. Be proud of it. Till the next time. Till the next time. Take care. Good morning. And I want you to actually go out in your mother language. You want to say bye?
और भाईजान अपना ख्याल रखो, फिर मिलेंगे इंशाल्लाह कल दोबारा. ठीक है, रब रखा. अल्लाह हाफ़िज़. Good morning. Yeah.